Hi everyone. In this video, we will see how to utilize Seaborn and Matplotlib in Python. So, without wasting any time, let us see how we will be using it. We are going to use the folder Seaborn and Matplotlib.ipymd. So, the first step remains the same to import pandas, numpy, and in addition to that we are going to import matplotlib and seaborn. Again here we are getting the nicknames of these both libraries as plt and sms, same like pandas and numpy, which we took pd and np. Now let me execute this. As you can see, there is a star mark. That means the code is getting executed. As you can see, the number 1 has come. That means the code is executed. Here, addition to numpy, panda, seaborn and matplotlib, there is one more code that we are executing, that is %matplotlib space inline. Let me explain you what is this %matplotlib inline. This denotes that we want to draw the graphs within Jupyter Notebook interface. So if sometimes when you are executing the graph may go outside the Jupyter Notebook. So this denotes that we are going to draw the graphs within Jupyter Notebook interface. Now let's go to the next step. Importing data in Python. This step is same as we have done in pandas, and we are using the library pandas for importing the data in Python. Let's get executed. Now step 3 will be same as viewing the first 5 rows of the data. As you can see, the data set is the same one. The step 4, that is to check the data types of the columns, remains the same. Now our visualization tool comes into picture, where we are going to visualize the data, and this is where we are going to use Seaborn and Matplotlib. There are various types of plots we can make in Python. Let me give you a brief introduction on what are the types of plots we are going to use here. As you can see, these are the types of plots in Seaborn which we are going to use for visualizing the data. Let me give you a brief introduction. Numerical data plotting. In this, there are 3 types of plot. That is relation plot, scatter plot, line plot. This means here you can use only the data that contains numbers. So the name is numerical data plotting. From the name only we get to know that we are going to use the data that contains number. Categorical data plotting. This is the next type of plots. In this we can use test data. That means not only numbers, we can also use text data. In this again we have different types of plot. That is categorical plot, box plot, strip plot, swarm plot, and so on. So how we will be using this? I will show you with a live example when we are going through the code. Now visualize the distribution of data. This means the data will be distributed in plots. In linear regression and relationship, we are going to cover regression plot and LM plot. Let me explain you all these plots in detail. Now let's discuss with scatter plot. Scatter plot can be made between two numerical columns. So here I am taking age and fare to show you. Let me execute this. If you check info part, both age and fare are float. So I can make a scatter plot between them. The syntax to make scatter plot is sns.rel plot, what we have already executed. So what I have used the code, let me explain you that. When you are getting a relational plot, that is the scatter plot, you have to use sns.rel plot and you have to mention the y-axis and x-axis. That means in y-axis which column you want to take and in x-axis which column you want to take. And also you need to tell the Python that from which data set I need to acquire this data. Since here I have stored all the data in our data variable, I have mentioned data equal to data. As you can see here, data is equal to data is mentioned. We have mentioned y-axis, x-axis. So the plot is ready. If any one variable also you miss, it will show you as syntax error. Now we can also make a line plot between two numerical features. Let's make a line plot between age and fare. Let me show you how we are going to do that. As you can see here, the code for line plot remains the same. The only difference we are going to change here is that we have to mention kind is equal to line so that we get a line plot. Let me execute this and show you by pressing Shift Enter. So this is how the line plots get executed. Now the next comes a bar plot. This can be made between categorical and numerical variables. Let me show you how we can use bar. As you can see, the syntax is changed here. Since we are using bar plot, it's sns.barplot, and this can be made between categorical and numerical variable. So numerical I have kept fare, and for categorical I have kept sex, which includes male and female, two values. Let's see how a bar plot comes up. Let me execute this and show you. By default, bar plot takes the mean of the numerical variable. So this graph shows average fare given by males and females. So this is the average fare given by male and female. As you can see, the fare given by female is more than the male. If I want to see the total, I can use this function estimator and I can use np.sum, which means that you have to consider the sum of numerical part. When I run this, it gives this graph. Basically, I'll show you how and why we have to use estimator equal to np.sum. What is the result you will be getting when you execute this? Basically, when you execute np.sum, that is estimator equal to np.sum, you can see that it gives the total fare paid by all the males on a cumulative basis, and this is the total fare that has been paid by females. That means this is the total fare paid by males and this is the total fare paid by females. So you can see that when it comes to total fare, males have paid more fare compared to females. This is how the bar graph works. Now let me show you how we can see the same information using cat plot. Let me execute this and show you how we will be viewing this. I am executing this by entering Shift Enter. I have to additionally mention kind equal to bar in this syntax. So I get the same graph that I got before. But here I have used cat plot function. In addition, I have written kind equal to bar. In previous one, I have directly used SNS.barplot. That means even though you are changing the syntax, but you have to mention kind is equal to bar. As you can see the difference, here it is SNS.barplot and here we have mentioned kind is equal to bar. Though in syntax we have mentioned SNS.catplot, but since we have mentioned kind equal to bar, it will execute bar plot only. The next plot that comes here is count plot. Count plots are basically used to see how many values are there within one categorical variable. If you remember the previous exercise, we have used value.count to check the counts within a categorical variable. Let's do that. Now, as you can see, we are executing the code data. In data, we are taking the column sex, and in that we are seeing how many value counts are there. Let me execute this. This is the same type that we have discussed in the previous video, and here you can see that there are 577 males and 314 females. So since we got the information of males and females, if I want to represent this graphically, I will make a count plot. Here also we are using SNS.catplot, but we will be mentioning in syntax is equal to count. Let me show you by executing this. As you can see, we have used count plot to get the graphical representation of same data. Now let us move forward and see what are the other operations to modify graphical output. That means, in simple words, we can tell them how we can decorate a graph. The first and foremost is how to add a title to your graph. We can do so by using the function plt.title. Let me show you how we are going to do that. So here, SNS.relplot, we have mentioned y-axis, x-axis and data. Now, if you want to add title to this graph, how you are going to do that? You are going to use the code plt.title and type the title in close brackets which you want to add to the graph. If you execute this, you will see how it will be represented. As you can see on the top, the title is there as distribution of age versus fare. As it is always very important to add titles to your graph, it is generally considered as best practice to add titles to your graph because it helps final user to understand what is the graph all about. So it is always better to add this titles like this. Now, how we are going to rotate X labels and Y labels? I will explain with an example. Let's say I make this graph between name and fare. A person pays, so if you see on x-axis, all the values are getting merged. Let me execute this and show you. as you can see, all the values are getting merged here. So we can't make out which value belongs to which variable. So what I can do is, I can rotate x-axis labels using the xTix function. How we are going to do that? Let me show you. So this is the code we are using to rotate the variables. Now as you can see, the variables are clear and it is rotated. The next operation that you can perform is changing dimensions of graph using height and aspect feature. Let me show you how we are going to do that. This means, let me explain this with an example first. I have executed this code to show you how you are going to change dimensions of graph using height and aspect. This basically helps us in enlarging or minimizing a graph. If you remember the line graph that we have constructed earlier between age and fair, let me show you. The graph that we have constructed between age and fair. This is the graph which we have constructed between age and fair. And the same graph we have constructed again here. The graph which we had constructed earlier was smaller. Now I wanted to enlarge it, so I have used here height and aspect feature. So this is the same graph but in enlarged form. So you can clearly mention the changes here. The next operation is very interesting one. In this we can add additional categorical columns using U function. Let me show you how. We are using categorical plot. We are mentioning x-axis, y-axis, data, kind, and in addition to this we are going to use U function. Let me execute this and show you how it will work. So U basically means you can change color based on categorical variable. To give you an example, I have already constructed graph between sex and fair. Sex is my categorical column. Here, if I want to further add a categorical column, that is survive, I can use the view function. The output of the graph is something like this, what you can see here. Since we have already used in x-axis sex, but still we could use another categorical function, that is survive, in the same graph by adding U. So this plays a very important role when you are plotting a graph. And if we can make some more observations here, you can see that on basis of U, that is survive column, Python has given different colors to survive, and also on x-axis there is another categorical column, that is sex. So U function is very important here in getting deeper details of data. The next function is very similar to U function, that is column. The column function makes separate column basis of color. So if you compare U and column, U use different colors for that particular column, whereas in column it has separated the graph into two columns. There is an additional feature of using row also. Before that, let me explain by using this code and executing it. As you can see, there are two graphs. Since there are two values for survive, that is 0 and 1. And when it comes to 0, there is one graph with male and female, and when it comes to 1, there is one graph with male and female. So this is how you can use column function. In addition to column, there is another categorical variable using row. How you can use this? In the same way like column, you have to mention row equal to survive, and when you execute this, you can see that the same graph is representing in row wise. So the same graphs were represented there in terms of columns, but here it has been represented in terms of rows. The major difference between using row and column variable. Now let's discuss about subplots. The Matplotlib library provides a way to plot multiple graphs on a single figure. These are known as subplots. Imagine I want to see a granular detail of the variable sex and how it has performed with respect to other variables. So I can make 4 subplots in which I will compare the fate, breakdown, survival chances, average age, and I will compare the average of siblings, and I will do a breakdown basis of gender. So how to make a subplot? First of all, I define an empty figure, that is this. We are defining an empty figure with a size of 20,6 figure size. Then I will define how many subplots I want. So basically, I have to pass on 3 parameters. The first one will indicate how many graphs required. Third one will indicate, that is this one, that which graph to be generated first. And second one will indicate graph needed to be horizontal or vertical. So these 3 are the major parameters which you have to remember when you are writing this code. Let me run this code and show you how this works. So, as you can see, there are 4 graphs here. But you can notice that graphs are getting merged into each other. And I am not able to read clearly. So here you can see that it is getting merged. Here you can see it is getting merged. For that, Python has given me padding option. So padding basically gives me the option to define a boundary between 2 graphs so that they don't merge into each other. Now let me show you by executing in code. I have copied the same above code here, and I have added an additional syntax to it as plt.type_layout pad is equal to 1. So when you execute this, you can notice that all the graphs are not merging into each other. Now you can see that you can understand the data clearly. So this was the exercise for Seaborn for data visualization. In the next video, we will start with data analysis of Facebook ads. Thank you everyone.